Hello everyone, this is the activity class. Hope you all are fine, and we will be discussing periodic table here. And yesterday I forgot to tell you that next week Monday we have class. That day I'll take test on this chapter, that is chapter 4, atomic structure chapter, because already we have completed some question answers which are left, which I will discuss in the next day. Friday I think we have class, and Monday also. Before giving the test, if you are attempting the class, that time I will discuss some more question answers, so after the class you can give the test. Now today our discussion on periodic table day discussion on few things we will be discussing, because maybe you all have seen that previous day the worksheet that I gave there, the part of the exercise where valency and group number, these things are mentioned. Previous day I have shown you the periodic table, how it looks like and all. So today we will be discuss about knowing the valency from the periodic table. It's basically the group which is determining its valency. Now periods and groups, this makes a complete periodic table. There are 18 groups and 7 periods. So in this we are not talking about periods much, because to know how the periods are coming or how the group numbers are actually generating, we need to know the electronic configurations. Electronic configuration means we know that every atom consists of some subatomic particles. That means subatomic particle means in every atom there are electrons which are negatively charged, there are protons which are positively charged, and there are neutrons which are neutrally charged. That means they do not have any charge in it. I think during the discussion of formation of ion, I gave a brief of it. Just to recapitulate that inside the atom, inside any atom, there are two parts. One is the nucleus, that is actually positively charged because it contains positively charged proton and neutral neutron. And outside of the nucleus, there are shells which contains electron revolving in those particular shells. And the picture is exactly like the solar system. The sun is at the center, and in different orbits planets are rotating. Similarly, inside an atom there is a nucleus which you can compare with the sun, and the electrons are rotating around the nucleus, which you can compare with the electrons. So as it contains a nucleus and electrons outside, these two parts, both of them do not take part in a chemical reactions. Reactions are two types. I got a question or a request in previous day's video that I should discuss about radioactive elements, because some of you may be interested. One student wrote me about this. So radioactive phenomena or radioactive reactions, in that case protons or the or better to say nucleus takes part. But in chemical reactions, outside of the nucleus, outer nucleus part, that is electrons that take part. And in the periodic table, the number of electrons present outside, because there are multiple shells, and the final shell we call valence shell, and then second last shell we call penultimate shell. So number of electrons present in the valence cells basically defines or determines about the group numbers, and that is what decides a valency of an element. We all know that valency is a combining capacity. It depends actually on number of electron it is accepting or it is donating, as I have said previously, and how many electron it will accept or how many electron it will donate, that entirely depend on number of electrons present at the outermost cell of that particular atom. Now I cannot go in such detail that electronic configuration, how the electrons are there, how many electrons are there in which shell. That is a very detailed thing that we have in class 8 basically. So just to refer from the periodic table, I can tell you, we have actually in syllabus we will study about group 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A and group 0. That is the old notation. And in the new notation we have group 1, 2, then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. These are the groups that we have in our syllabus, because 3 to 12, that is this part particularly I showed you, that is known as transition element, which is not there in our syllabus. Because transition element, that is group 3, begins after the atomic number 20, and we do not have syllabus or discussion on elements beyond 20, and that is why till 20 we will be considering. Now group 1A, 2A, for these two particular group and 3A, this three particular group. For knowing the valence, it is always better to refer to the old notations. Both old and new notations will be accepted in exam. So if any element belongs to group 1A, then the valency will be 1. If any element belongs to group 2A, the valency will be 2. If any element belongs to group 3A, its valency will be 3. If any element belongs to group 4A, its valency will be 4. It's very simple up to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4A, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. That means the valencies are 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. But once it is going to group 5A, the valency you need to calculate by deducting the number 5 from 8. Why 8? Because we know noble gases have complete valence shell and we consider it as 8 electron other than helium. So before helium, hydrogen present, it belongs to group 1A, it's having valency 1, fine. But from group 2 onwards, the noble gases, neon, argon, krypton, radon, xenon, they have 8 electron in their valency. So if any element belongs to group 5A, the valency will be 8 minus 5, that is 3. Now some elements from that particular group can have valency 5 as well, like phosphorus. Phosphorus shows both the valency 3 and 5, but nitrogen shows valency only 3. So generalizing, I will say that whenever this question is asked, any element in group 5 and it is not mentioned which element, your valency or the answer will be 8 minus 5, that is 3. So any elements belongs to group 5, the valency 5A, of course 5A means 15, the valency will be 8 minus 5, that is 3. Clear? Now next 6A, so the valency will be 8 minus 6, that is 2. 7A valency 8 minus 7, that is 1. And for noble gases, 8 minus 8, that is 0. That's why it is called group 0. Valence is 0. Why it is said? Because noble gases do not react easily. Normal state, normal situations, they do not react easily. Exceptions are there under very vigorous conditions. Xenon reacts with fluorine and oxygen. Those are different. But the noble gases which are there in the syllabus, like neon, argon, they will not react so easily. So they belong to group 0 and they are inactive, inert gases. The noble gases, better to say, and their valency is 0. So clear up to this? So the questions that I gave previous day as homework from the exercise, those discussions will be there next day. That time it will be clearer to you all. Now, if you have any doubt regarding the valency, you can write to me. I will once again explain this. Those who are asking about radioactive elements, okay, before going to radioactive elements, I missed that elements belong to group 1A, 2A, 3A, they are metals. 4A, metal, non-metals or metalloid. Like in 4A, that is in group 14, there are carbon, then there are silicon. So carbon is non-metal, then silicon is actually metalloid. So you have this two in your syllabus, carbon and silicon. So you can write non-metal or metalloids. Group 15 non-metals, then 15, 16, 17 non-metals, and noble gases also be considered in the genre of noble non-metals only. So 1, 2, 3 they are metal. You can consider 1, 2, 3 non-metals. 1, 2, 3 group 1A, 2A, 3A metals. Actually boron is having little bit of non-metallic property, but generalized you can call it as a metal. And radioactive elements, basically the elements have two subatomic particles in the nucleus, proton and neutron. So N by P ratio, that is neutron by proton ratio, when it is crossing 1.5, then the elements nucleus or the element is called heavy elements. And then to make it stabilize, to make it 1.5, which is equal to lead's atomic N by P ratio, lead's not atomic, N by P ratio 1.5, to make it 1.5, they start radiating certain rays known as alpha ray, beta rays, gamma rays. They are radioactive elements. Marie Curie, who first got the Nobel Prize, one working with it alone radium, and then in polonium with her husband. She is the only one who got Nobel Prize both in physics and the chemistry. She is the only lady who got Nobel Prize both in physics and chemistry. Her work was based on this radioactive elements. movie is there, but I suggest you can read the biography written by her daughter, Madame Curie, Marie Curie. I read when I was in school, I guess. I was in class 3 or class 4. That time I read the biography. It's brilliant. She worked hard in her life to achieve this success, and she was not from a very high profile background. Interestingly, she is a Nobel laureate. Her husband, her daughters are also Nobel laureates, and her son-in-laws are also Nobel laureates. That's a Nobel family, basically. You can read the book. Is available both in Bengali version and in English version, whichever way you are comfortable. You can read that one. So radium and polonium. Now in the radioactive elements, mine, if you will read it in physics, basically in class 10 it is there in physics. In the radioactive mines, you get to see lead deposits, and the reason behind that, every element keep radiating alpha ray, beta rays and gamma rays, and finally it forms the lead, which is having N by P ratio equal to 1.5, and these radioactive elements are very useful for cancer treatments. This much today. Next day we will continue with this discussion, and also I must want to know, I'd like to know how you all are preparing your activity, how you all are making ready your things presenting the first 20 elements. You can write it to me, so we can share with others as well. Take care. See you in the next class. Till then, bye.